Just click go live.
There we go.
Yeah.
Try it now. Try your Instagram now. There we go. There we go. It should be working now.
There we go. Yep.
Awesome. Okay.
Is it working on my thing? Am I doubled up now?
Are you doubled up?
On my Facebook.
Oh.
That's fine. Because that's not what I wanted.
Is your Facebook and Instagram linked?
I'm just going to leave this. Hold on. Let me try something here. Okay. Let's go to here's my Facebook. There's my Instagram. Let me hit go live. I hit go live. I did it. All right. My question is my Facebook live? I don't think. Oh. Here we go. Yeah.
Amazing.
You all good?
Now I'm going to keep an eye on the comment section for a change because I always seem to ignore it. And,
all right. Well,
good.
Oh, we have a viewer too. So we'll get started, I guess. I think everything's working and can. So as you can see, we're new at this. This is only our second episode. So welcome to Over the Pint with Jim and Eric. Tonight is doing something totally different than what we've done in the past and probably will do in the future again. But our Valentine's Day special, and we have some special guests. We have Ashley Groves and Maddie Irvine. We're going to let them introduce themselves and kind of what they do and their businesses with Happily Hitched, and the podcast producer that we have here that also knows Ashley from podcasting. So I'll let you guys talk. Maybe Jim, did you want to add anything to that before we let them introduce themselves?
Well, other than this is our Valentine's pre-game. So welcome to everybody. Let's get you ready for Valentine's Day. I believe this is going to be a very loving love fest of a session today.
Yeah.
There we go. There you go.
Wait, no, that's the millennial heart.
I know.
I think. Wait, what am I supposed to? I don't know. There we go.
Yeah, I they both work with the thing, right?
True. Hello.
Yeah, this is the K-pop one, I think.
I am now learning all kinds of things. Wow. I'll just stick with the. So we got a lot of fun, hopefully, and nothing too serious. And after this, we have a nice little. I don't know if everybody's got something they can write on so they can hold up their answer or whatever, but I'm going to try that at some point. So we're going to have some fun. And Eric, you are expected to join in when the games commence.
I have to find a piece of paper or something, you mean?
No pressure.
Or you can, I'll let you type it into chat, and I'll just read out what everybody said, too. That's fine. That's all right. But let's do it.
I have paper, but everything's written, just notes and scribbles.
I hear it's tax day, so there should be some paper to write on somewhere.
There's definitely, yeah, I found some.
All right.
All right. So who would like to begin? We got to fight for it. All right, Maddie, it is.
Okay. Well, my name is Maddie. I am a podcast producer for the Canadian Love Map podcast that is sponsored by Charm Diamond Center with host Nancy Regan from former CTV Atlantic news star. And I produce podcasts. I find guests. I look at love every single day, searching for couples and people in the love industry, I guess, to come on our show. And it's just a lot of love. I work with a lot of love, definitely.
So still a lot of love in the world, is what you're saying.
Yes, it's a very blossoming industry, I guess.
That's good. Awesome. Well, speaking of blossoming industry of love, Ashley, why don't you jump on in?
Lily, I'm Ashley Groves, and I am the owner-operator of Happily Hitched Halifax. We are a wedding chapel in downtown Halifax, right at Pizza Corner, actually. So super fun place to be. Definitely lots of kinds of love down there. Lots of character, lots of excitement happening around there. And like Maddie, I deal with love all the time. It's all love all the time. And yeah, just really happy to be able to celebrate that and celebrate some joyful things. I know that it's kind of a weird time in the world right now, and just bringing a little positivity into our lives. It's really nice.
All right. Well, Eric, you got anything? Because I got a few.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we wanted to do this because we want to talk about Ashley's business because of the Valentine's and trying to give some ideas for the public. Because I mean, I'm definitely not the romantic type. My girlfriend will say that very much. But that's what I thought we'd do with this is kind of showcase what was in the city. Ashley, I know you put on events and stuff like that. Maddie, I know you probably hear a ton of events that are going on. So, is there anything like we should let the people know like over the next Friday? It's Friday, isn't it? Isn't it Friday? Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Today's the 12th. So
Yeah.
Ashley, do you guys have any events coming up with your Happily Hitched Halifax?
Interestingly, not around Valentine's Day. I mean, we do have a couple of weddings. The Valentine's weekend, it's a long weekend, which is really nice. So for people who have folks coming in from out of town, so they can stay and enjoy a little bit of an extended vacation. But I didn't actually plan a Valentine's Day specific event this year. I was a little bit under the weather actually, so I didn't want to push that in case I wasn't able to pull through on it. But
Right.
I do plan on doing some wedding type events coming up in the next, like in the spring and in the summer. We want to do some themed events, so couples who are maybe interested in a little bit more of an interesting wedding theme and not just sort of the classic wedding that we typically offer. We'll be putting information out about that soon.
Like an escape room? Like
No, you've got the rest of your life for that. That's the whole marriage. No,
so you just set the scene for it, and then they have until.
I do love escape. It's a lot of fun. So I mean, there are different kinds of wedding themes that a lot of people will like to personalize. Different color themes. Like around New Year's, we like to do sort of like silver and gold and that sort of thing. But our decor in there is pretty neutral in terms of like we've got whites, creams, we've got the really cool brick in there, some sort of the nice greens in there as well. So just something that maybe pops of color, really lead into some of the fun disco themes that have been going around as well, and hop on some trends that people want to see as well.
Yeah.
Well, if you had to pick a like the ideal thing that Happily Hitched could be behind and attached to, like what would be that big, like your ideal?
There are a few things I really want to do. I've been waiting for this to happen. It hasn't happened yet. So we've got a tattoo parlor sit on skin above us. I would love for a couple or multiple couples to come in, get married, and go get some matching tattoos. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I want to do some events where we just sort of like go back to back to back to back and just marry as many people in a day as we possibly can. We've done a few in a day, like the way that we have structured the business is we can actually marry multiple couples a day. But I would just love to just really pull those out and then maybe just do a big party somewhere for everyone. That'd be so fun.
That'd be fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And how long's Happily Hitched been going around? How long have you been doing this kind of thing?
We're going on 2 years.
What sticks out so far? Like, what's the one? Like, do you have a couple that really stick out that to set the weekend for the hopefuls? What do you got?
I like the thing is they're so small, right? So we go up to 20 people, so they're really intimate. So the couples really get to spend a lot of good quality time with their friends and family. And one of the ones that really sticks out to me is we had a couple in and they thought they were going to be having a smaller wedding, and the bride thought that her family was going to be able to be there, but her fiance was able to surprise her and fly her dad in, and that was just a really sweet, touching moment. And it's those sort of intimate moments that you really get to see in and enjoy that. That's why we do what we do. I love it.
Nice. Had any like renews, like the what's that, like renewal of the vows done up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, the first event that we had there was a vow renewal.
Nice.
And a couple came in from Quebec to do it. So that was nice. They had wanted to celebrate 10 years the year before, but it was COVID, so they weren't able to do it. So they technically celebrated their 10 year on their 11th, and that was a lot of fun.
Well, the first year doesn't count anyway.
Right.
It's all the honeymoon
exactly.
phase, so it's fine. It's not real. Well, Maddie, as a producer, what have we missed asking Ashley?
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
It's what's so funny is I heard all the questions for Ashley like literally last week or 2 weeks ago, the same thing on our show with you.
So what did we forget?
I have a list of questions still too. So
I was gonna say, I'm sure Ashley has a million different stories, let's say, about, different couples or different, I don't know, situations she's been in. Let's just say that.
yeah, I bet. I know a little bit about the story, but my one was what was your inspiration? Why did you start Happily Hitched Halifax?
I was actually looking at starting a chapel before we moved to Halifax when I was still in Toronto, so before the pandemic, and was putting all the plans together, was just about ready to go, and then everything shut down. The world shut down. So probably good I didn't get started earlier. We moved here, and I started my other business, The Wedding Grove. So I was planning the larger weddings for couples. So I've seen sort of, it's run the gamut between, elopements where I was one of the witnesses all the way up to 150, 200 person weddings. So I've kind of done the spectrum. And after I got my feet under me after moving here and really got to know the industry and a lot of people in the community, I decided that was the time. I was going to finally launch the chapel and help people celebrate love.
Nice.
We do love
and that
community.
was 2 years ago.
Yeah, a couple of years ago now.
Yeah.
And people still love each other. Even
Well,
after 2 years.
And if COVID has shown us anything, right? It's like the world shutting down didn't stop people from getting married. Like they found ways. Some people replanned their wedding 3-4 times. And it was like an accordion, like shrinking and growing and shrinking and growing. And I think that's kind of where the boom in some of the micro weddings and elopements really came from at post-COVID, is people kind of felt like they had more permission to do these smaller weddings. They didn't feel like they had to do the big weddings that were sort of expected, or that maybe even they thought they wanted. A few people attended their friends' weddings and went, you know what? That's great. I want that.
Yeah. So one of the things I was going to ask too was what are the biggest mistakes couples make when they're planning their weddings?
Oh, Maddie, I'm like, I've got a few thoughts on this, but Maddie, have you heard any stories in some of your Love Map podcasts?
For planning weddings?
Yeah.
See,
like the biggest mistakes.
I only see the good. I don't usually see the other side of it. I get
Come on, producer. You got to get the bad side too, producer.
I know. Sometimes like there's like a little blip, like, oh, they had like, I don't know, a little setback, but then it's like the end of the day, it's like the hero story. I used to see the big flashy kind of articles being like the good kind of stuff. There's always challenges, but I never really heard anything of any like bridezilla. I don't think. My friend, I'm a little nervous. She's getting married soon, and she's getting married in Tennessee, and I'm like, I'm maid of honor, and I'm like, please just don't be a bridezilla.
You probably know by now. It's
well, on record, since you're on here anyway, you're totally saying she's going to be fine, and when she sees this, you completely have the support of her not being a bridezilla.
Yes, she's been good considering her wedding's in Tennessee and we're in Halifax, and all of the planning and everything is long distance. So considering all of those factors, she's been lovely because I would have been, but she's been great.
I can truly, honestly say that I have not met a bridezilla, which maybe is rare as an event planner or as someone who's planned a lot of weddings. But I have not met a bridezilla.
So my background is hospitality, hotels, a lot, banquets.
Yes.
Dealt with a lot of weddings. Dealt with a few bridezillas myself.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, and I try to look at it this way. Maybe that's why, to me, I haven't really considered anyone to be a bridezilla or broomzilla or a whatever zilla. It's the biggest day for a lot of people. It's the most money most people will spend on a single event in their life. There's a lot of expectations attached to that, both their own and their families, and that puts a lot of pressure on people. So
Thanks, Hallmark.
no, but it's true. It's a thing. Hey, and this is the holiday for that, isn't it?
It is.
But I just try to come from a place of where are they coming from. Like a lot of times, when the behaviors people see as like Zilla behavior is fear-based or is stress-based, and it's not feeling like they have control or they want to micromanage little things because it's the only thing they feel like they can.
That's usually the in-laws.
I will say I've had
On both
more
sides.
struggles with parents of
Yeah.
couples than I have with the couples themselves.
Yeah, I've also a hospitality background, 20 weddings catered in one summer. So
Oh, good summer.
it was a busy summer,
Yeah.
and I think I crashed until December after that. So
That's it. Oh.
But, hey, Eric, she didn't catch her on that one. What else you got?
I don't know. I was just about to pull up my other questions.
I
sorry.
I realized I didn't actually answer your question, but I did have an answer for it. That wasn't.
Go ahead. Yeah,
You just threw it to Maddie, hoping she'd have something for
I
it.
know.
Well, I just felt like I was talking a lot, so I'm like, Maddie, I'm sure has some input here. You've heard a lot.
Yes, that is true.
I would say the biggest, if you want to call it a mistake that couples make when they first start planning their weddings, is just jumping into it too quickly without really sitting with it and thinking about what they actually really want. There's a lot of pressure as soon as you announce that you're engaged. Oh, what's the date? Who's invited? I'm coming, right? That person's not coming. Are they coming? Let's make sure that, it's so it gets this sort of pressure and these expectations put on people. And I would tell my couples, you have no obligation to give someone a firm answer just because they ask you for it. And to rush your decisions just because that people want to know an answer. It's fine to say, hey,
wow,
we're enjoying being engaged. We only get to do this once, ideally with each other, and I want to enjoy it. So we're thinking about it. We haven't made any decisions, but we'll let you know when we do.
I found all of those questions super stressful before I got married. Like, I found that was probably the cause of more friction between us before the wedding than anything else. It's like the planning, and I'm like, well, I don't know. Why don't I know? Should I know? And then I ask, and it's like, I don't know. Why don't you know? And it's like, oh crap. Like,
you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good. Yeah, I like that. That's one thing we didn't kind of go through is how do we all know each other? And by the way, Eric, I feel like we work in the wedding industry of houses apparently, because I feel like all that stuff she was talking about was like, I'm like, I've heard all of this, but I've never done the wedding industry before. Where's this from?
Well, there is a lot of people that's use that catchphrase of matchmaker of people in housing.
Perfect marriage.
Well, yeah. So Ashley, you know Eric.
Yes.
Yes.
Eric and I were in a B&I chapter together.
Yes, originally.
Met like quite a while ago now when I had the Wedding Grove. So I've scaled back on the Wedding Grove, and I don't really have time for B&I anymore. I work full time at the Halifax Chamber, so I'm a busy person. So my partner Jay and I both know Eric, and I met Maddie because I was a guest on the Canadian Love Map podcast too.
And it's funny. It turns out that Ashley, yourself, Eric, and me all use the same person for doing our
graphic
design. Our graphic design at one point.
We all used Amanda.
Yeah,
Amanda's amazing.
It really is.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Maddie, how did you get mixed up in the mess that is this screen?
So you guys have a podcast with the podcast company that I work for called Podstarter, and you guys are on the community game plan, and you had Jay on, and one of your guys' producers for that show told me about Ashley. And I'm like, Maddie, you have to reach out to her. Like, she has like the coolest business and it's all about love. And I was like, that's so perfect. And then I reached out to Ashley, and then she came on her show, and her episode drops tomorrow, and that's great.
Ooh. So give us a plug on that then. What's the
Please
episode
do.
about? What it's called? Where
Yes.
can people find it?
Yeah. So
You know,
it's
we can
going
give
to
you the
be
big screen. Oops, wrong one. There you
it'll be
go.
on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any platform that you get your podcast, and it's going to be called Happily Hitched, and then Ashley's name will be next to it. It's the Canadian Love Map on all platforms, all socials, all of that, and lots of promo for Ashley will be coming soon.
Nice. Excellent. And that's what this is about too, is trying to give promo to people and showcase companies and everything,
It is
right?
all about community. It's like the fact that in some weird way, us who really
I
shouldn't
didn't
be
know
tied
we
together.
connected Ashley to the podcast
Yeah.
that way. So that was new for us to learn. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was a great, and it's funny because even me and Eric, like real estate wise, no idea. I kicked around the ball with Eric, like on my mom drugged me into a soccer team because she didn't want to like kind of go into something on her own when she wanted to start, and so I went with her, and she stuck with it for years while I played at a higher level. But I drop in now and then, and there's Eric, and you know we got along on the pitch fine, and we talked, and next thing I find out, it's like, oh, he's a real estate agent too, and it's like, what? Like, cool, another real estate, and then we just got talking, and now we're teamed up, and
Small world.
it's like it's all about community. It's who you reach out to, who you connect with, and how you can, see the vision when you have the same vision.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing this, right? All right.
I love that.
You had something. What's that, Ashley?
I love that you had Jay on here. So, and he's a photographer, interestingly, and he does do some of the weddings at the chapel.
Yeah.
Jay Fisher, and but he likes to do more of the corporate stuff and the headshots, and he does, of course, some landscape as well. But he likes to refer weddings onto wedding photographers who like that is their passion, that is what they do, that's what they love. They spend all of their time learning how to do it and refining their own style, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I got one of my like longest term friends who he's done a few photography for him is just a passion. Like he does it because he loves it. It was never anything like doesn't have the business for it, anything. He was actually in insurance, I believe, when he started really exploring it a lot.
Yeah.
And I had him do headshots, and then it was like my wedding was coming up. I'm like, your partner does weddings, right? He's like, yeah, it's really busy. I'm like, that's good. Can she just if you take the pictures, can she fix them to have the best ones? And so for food, him and his partner came and did the photography for my wedding, and like it's his stuff is gold. I still try to get him out, and his partner did a lot of like vacations, like photography. She'd go wherever they were getting it done. And her work is just beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. There's something about weddings, even after working a lot and never wanting to touch a knife, I thought again, or be yelled at by 17 different people who weren't the people I was working for. Like I never ran into a bridezilla. The rest of the family was horrible. I had a groom who actually came to my rescue from his parents before because they were flipping while I was trying to make risotto. Like it was a thing and a half. But like even after all that, all the stories are different. Like everything's different. There's always something. There's always some new, some way they met, some really weird best man giving a speech that like still cracks everybody up, and you don't know the people, and all of a sudden you feel like you're best friends with them.
You're invested, right?
Yeah.
I have to say, I love when couples do custom vows, like their personal vows with each other. You just learn so much about the couple. Another thing I really love is, so at the chapel, we let them pick their own music for the different parts of it. So walking down the aisle, the recessional, signing. And I feel like I learned so much about the couples by their music choices.
Yeah.
We had one recently, and it was what was it? It was a song from the musical Chess. Now my brain is just blanking on it.
That's fair.
Jeez Louise. Anyway, it was really funny. And it's like a very unusual song for walking down the aisle, but you know what? It was a lot of fun.
It makes it more memorable for them and for you. I mean, putting it on.
Don't be the same.
Yeah. Well, and also, like, sometimes I'll turn the songs on that they chose and listen to it as I'm setting up for the wedding, so I can just sort of like get the vibe going and see how it's going to be. So I have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, I think I was at one wedding, and I know Game of Thrones was big at the time. Wrong choice and things I would never do if I had to point out, like, please don't do at a wedding ever again, is the Red Wedding from Game of Thrones music was played. And I'm just like, yeah, it sounds sweet. It does not fit in here.
That's funny.
Maddie, let's get some stories. Give me some good stuff that you've seen, because you've seen a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we featured, oh my goodness, all types of love, self-love, romantic partners, mother, daughter, grandson and grandmother, like so many different people. But one that sticks out to me, at least this is like my favorite story. I was interning at Podstarter as a producer, like still learning the ropes and everything. And they were bringing on this old couple who was celebrating their 70th wedding anniversary. And they were from Mississauga, Ontario. I'll never forget it, because we have like a little window and Nancy can see me and I can see her, but she's also looking at the screen where like they're kind of displayed on and everything like that. And they're sharing their story about when they fell in love at the church dance, and it was love at first sight. And he came over and tapped her on the shoulder, and they were saying the song that they danced to, and like they got married and all of these memories together. And then Nancy had asked them, like, what do you love most about each other? And she was saying how like he's always been her rock and like her anchor, and like they never went to bed angry, they never anything. And I am absolutely bawling my eyes out. Like, I cannot see Nancy. I wear contact lenses and they're blurred. Like, I don't know if we're still recording, and I'm also trying to make a good impression at Podstarter, and they can't see me, and I'm trying to shield my face away from who is now my boss, to be like, oh my gosh, you can't see me crying. This is so embarrassing. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, like just Sarah was down. Nancy's looking at me. Nancy's like trying not to laugh at me because she knows happening too. And they were just the absolute sweetest couple, like textbook, just like love story. Like I couldn't have gotten a better couple. Like they just oozed love, I guess. Yeah. So that's definitely one of my favorite stories for sure. And it was also new to me at the time too. And it's just like nostalgic as well. But like I also love the business stories. I mean, we had a woman come in and she was at a wedding dress store, or a bridal gown wedding dress, and talking about when like the person finds that dress that just speaks to them. And like you get the crazy like moms who are like, oh, I don't like that one, or like, I don't know, the sisters like, oh, that doesn't look like you, but she's like, this is me, like this is exactly what I want. And it's just like she said, that feeling. And that's even like with to segue to Ashley's episode, like hearing those stories. I love hearing that side too, because there's so much to be learned from people who are in this industry and see it all the time. And it just shows that there is so much love around us, even if we don't see it on the news all the time. It is still very prominent in a lot of people's lives. So that was a very long-winded answer, and I apologize.
No, that was good.
Nothing wrong with that at all. That's great. Oh, what is this?
Oh, I remembered the song partway through your story, and so I threw it in there so I wouldn't forget.
Yeah,
One Night in Bangkok, which is such a random song to have, but I'm like, that's the vibe. I love it, and I'm a theater kid, so I mean, I can really appreciate it. I can't musical. You're a musical, or you're a theater kid too? Yeah.
I love it. I cried Wicked. I love it all.
Yeah. Yep. Took my daughter to Frozen. It was so good. She's 4. And I didn't take her to the first one because I thought it would be a bit too much for a 4-year-old, but on the edge of her seat, like I don't know. Back in the day, I went to Neptune theater classes when I was a kid because that was just, you had to do something, and I did soccer. I did no other sports, and my parents were like, you have to do something in the mornings. So on the weekend, Neptune theater it was, and like it was in like a few school musicals, stuff like that. Like that's kind of, it's a good vibe. Like being a theater kid.
3 out of 4.
Vibe.
Eric, you do any theater? You a theater kid?
I was in a play in grade 6.
There we go. It was the tree in the Christmas.
Yeah, no, I was an alien that came down, and my name was Noel, or no, Leon, and I was supposed to be like, the kids that I met were teaching me what Christmas was or something.
Oh, it was a Christmas one. Look at that.
Oh yeah, it was a Christmas one for sure. Other than that, no, I didn't really do anything. I was an MC and for our like safe grad, high school safe grad fashion show, and I was the MC for that. That's about it.
It's a bit of public speaking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do public speaking, and that's easy. I always say, I mean, even just with this job, it's like I'm an actor, and when I was in the hospitality industry, it was the same thing. It's I could put on a face. Then as soon as I went in those back halls, I could take it off and be a totally different person, right?
Yeah.
But same thing.
Well, yeah, even pre-COVID, I did the Bedford Players. I was in that, so I was just like, I keep thinking, I'm like, I would like to do that again, but it is so much to sit around and memorize lines and trying to work on top. That is so hard.
It's funny actually. So around the time when I was working on all the plans to open up the chapel, Bedford Players did a show called I want to say it was like three weddings and an Elvis. It was about a Vegas wedding chapel.
Right. Uh-huh.
So it was funny. I'm sitting there and watching this whole time, and it was really funny thinking I'm about to open one of these.
You're like, that's gonna be me.
Style chapels. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was thinking. You said tattoo, a wedding and a tattoo. I'm like, is Nova Scotia the new Vegas? Like that's
why not? Hey, look, people are staying. Yeah, I love it. That'd be so fun. Well, and
perfect.
That's kind of the vibe. Like, right, we're at Pizza Corner. It's fun downtown vibe.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, like that.
Hey, what do you got going on there, Jim? You mentioned something.
Oh my god!
You had me freaked out there earlier. I'm like,
we've got a game.
What's this game going on? You might as well just get. We're over half hour into this.
Yeah, we are. We are. It's
well
So I was thinking, because I do a lot of I listen to podcasts a lot. I listen to even just the short YouTube thing. And one of my favorite things is when they're like, oh yeah, some random people, according to a study done by random people, or what's it called? The CBC has a bunch of it on Because News and stuff. It's like, according to this, what is the most popular, and then people have to answer it. And so I got a few questions, and again, no choices given. It's going to be just what you guys say. So it's we're going to see how that plays out. And I hope y'all had a good drink before I decided to start talking, because I know I did.
I should go. I'll be right back, though. I'll be grabbing
I do not have a funnel or a keg tapped yet.
No.
I was saying, I know it says over a pint, but gin's the best I can do on this one.
Yeah, what is everyone drinking?
We'll get you a pint.
What are you drinking?
Pint. You can have whatever you want for that pint.
Hey,
Yeah, there's
And
just
give a shout
so.
out for what you're drinking.
Oh, right. So I've got the Wiener Lager from Nine Logs. It's a very Nova Scotian for anybody who knows the log driver commercial. It's right there. If you don't know it, I really suggest you just look up log driver Nova Scotia commercial. It is the best part of our heritage commercial ever. So, hey, come on, part of our heritage. I'm old. I just aged myself with that comment. It's fine. All right, what are you drinking, Eric?
I'm still into my good old Garrison Tall Ship, my local,
Classic.
my fave, life class. Yeah.
And Maddie?
Maddie?
I don't know if it's Canadian, so I feel is Okanagan Canadian?
Yeah.
Is it a beer?
I have
Is it a cider? Is it a drink?
Cider, yeah.
That's in BC, right? I think it's
I really hope so.
Okanagan, BC.
The peach one.
I drink cider more in the summer. For me, it's a hot
tastes better in the summer.
Yeah.
There's no good Canadian tequila that I know of, so usually I don't drink Canadian.
There is some like local Nova Scotian distilleries. They not have.
Oh yeah.
I'm
sure I know they have rums and gins and.
Yeah, to get a cactus like the agave to make it, I just don't feel like Nova Scotia has the climate for the agave.
Well, we'll just go down to Mexico and get it shipped up. And...
Hey, they're our friends. No, I'll just talk to Pat Fogarty at Fogarty's Market Garden. I'll see if he can put them in the greenhouse for me and do it there.
Yeah, we'll talk to him when we have him on here on one of our next Over the Pints.
Yeah, I definitely have to get on that. Ooh, yeah. All right, so what we have, which way to start?
I am ready for this game.
I will roll down to the Halifax question after, because I got some local, but let's start with, according to touchofgold.ca, I've got a list of
jewelry.
8. Yeah, they're jewelry. Yeah, I have a list of 8. So if you get any of the 8, I'll give you a point. You can have 2 points if you get the most.
Oh.
What are we doing? Calling this out, writing it down.
Oh, you're gonna. You can either write them down and show them, and if it's not showing up on the screen, put it in the little private chat, and I'll read it out for you. So that's good. Yeah. So with the most romantic spots for an unforgettable proposal in Nova Scotia.
Oh, in Nova Scotia.
In Nova Scotia. Yeah. So
there's 8 of them?
I have 8 in front of me. All you have to do is guess one, and if it's on that list, you can a specific spot, Eric. Which beach? Pick a beach, Eric. Pick a beach.
That's a big word.
Although, just so you know, private beach picnic is on there, so I'm going to give that to you. So we're going to give Eric a point here.
So I got to think of something.
I had Peggy's Cove too.
Hey, as one does.
I was going to say that too. I was just going to write that.
All right. Well, in the ones I have,
what was Ashley's second one?
Oh, Meat Cove.
Meat Cove.
Which doesn't sound that romantic, but oh my God, is it beautiful?
So, number 1 on this was actually the Halifax Public Gardens.
So I think of that more as like photo, like on your wedding day. But okay.
I think of that like prom.
Well, I gotta say, if I was gonna do a winter proposal over this winter when they had the lights and all that set up, that would have been the perfect place for one if somebody was gonna do it.
Is it Wasco AV that does the light? It's really, really beautiful. Well done. Yeah.
Second is just Annapolis Valley Vineyards.
Yeah.
So
any one of the many vineyards we have.
Well, it's very broad. Like historic Lunenburg is on there.
Sure. Yeah.
Somebody went with the Harborfront Dinner Cruise.
Wow.
Yeah.
That could be like a nice sunset cruise. I think they do like a wine.
Did you take your friends and family, or you do that with a bunch of strangers?
To be honest, it's the same with any proposal, really. Who do you take? Like, you go yourself. It's just however you feel.
Oh.
Maybe your person likes that big. Like, they like the
A
sign
Mooseheads game.
So,
You know,
They're
nice
gonna
like,
idea.
do.
Put it on the screen, on the big screen.
now it
Hey.
might be on the list of 12, but it's not on the one in front of me. The last one is you've got the Cabot Trail, which
Hey,
the
friends.
Cabot Trail Adventure. They have some
Neat
beautiful
cove is
look
just
off
off
on the
of there.
Cabot Trail. So,
Yeah.
yeah. A candlelit dinner downtown.
Sure.
So
You
why
have
not?
that sort of it, Maddie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
downtown.
And Point Pleasant Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe if
So
I was
it's all
going to
Halifax
the
based,
Shakespeare by the Sea, and well, not all of it. Annapolis Valley's not Halifax.
Oh, yeah, well, that's, I guess. I can think of other
Lunenburg
places.
wasn't
though.
Halifax last I
Lo-
checked.
Lawrencetown Beach, Lawrencetown Bluff.
But all right. So we're looking at Eric actually got a specific one on the list, which was Random Beach.
By being the most general. Okay. I see how this is going. All right. All right.
We're gonna take the love and we're gonna turn it into competition.
Come on.
All right, I've got, and this is a Halifax one, the best Valentine's dinner in Halifax. I've got 3 restaurants in front of me that
Oh,
have.
I don't even. Yeah, I'd have to say that.
sure. Is one of them.
Anemone dining.
What's that?
Anemone dining. I think I'm saying that right.
But economy shoe shop. I don't know.
Oh, I love a shoe shop.
Yeah.
Armani's are whatever. It's the Italian. I can't pronounce it. I can't think
Pizzeria Mono is one.
of Mono. Yeah,
It's not on there, but I know what you're talking about.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
good because I'm like I butchered that so badly. I'm glad.
Yeah,
you-
Amano. I used to work at Amano. So if I butchered Amano, I'd have to shoot myself. But it's great pizza. On the right track. Eric, what did you say? Economy? Is that
Yeah.
what you're going with?
Well, economy or bicycle or. I was trying to think of the seafood
Vil
place down
Mercato.
on.
I love Vil Mercato. I wish that was on this list. It is
There was another big
beautiful.
seafood place. I just drove
Oh,
by it there the
By
other day.
Fisherman. Also, Nash is
Five
beautiful.
Fish is good. The
Yeah.
Salties. I love Salties, but
Salties was
none of these
always
are the
good.
top 3.
It's hard. There's so many great ones. I mean,
Halifax has great food.
okay.
Yeah.
Can you give us a hint of style of cuisine?
Well,
Yeah.
not really.
Oh,
Eric
oh.
did say one in passing, but Maddie was right by the owners.
Is
The
it-
same people. It is the Bicycle Thief. Yeah,
Azo?
the Bicycle Thief. So when you said Amano and Bicycle Thief are on
Yeah.
by the
Well, yeah.
Cafe
We
Lunette?
kind of both said bicycle thief earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's Geo is number 1.
Oh, that makes sense, actually.
Yeah, Geo is
At
number
the
1.
Prince George?
What's that?
At the Prince George?
The Geo.
The Geo restaurant?
Yeah.
Nice.
Second is Bicycle Thief,
Yeah.
and the third is Edna.
Oh.
Huh.
If
Okay.
you haven't been, go. I enjoy Edna. It wouldn't have been the top 3. It would definitely be on the list of amazing places in Halifax.
Yeah.
But yeah. To be honest, the fact that Bicycle Thief only hit number 2 was kind of shocking to me.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I totally would have thought.
But again, it might be because of the same thing. Is there's some people who aren't seafood fans.
Right.
True.
I would
Mhm.
say we just tried one of the new restaurants down at the waterfront, Mystic, in December, and it was amazing. Like if you're looking for a really, really cool culinary experience, I'm sure they do some kind of cool events probably for Valentine's Day, but
Cool.
Right. Next one. This one I had to find. It just came to me as something I really wanted to do. I've got a list of, and this is according to. Sorry, the last one was according to Yelp. The restaurants were according to Yelp.
okay.
And the yeah. So we're gonna go now. And who was this that I got this? Oh, the iHeart, like .com,
iHeartRadio.
iHeart.com, yeah, iHeartRadio essentially,
Okay.
is
Oh, yeah.
I've got a list of 4 things, like the 4 worst gift ideas for Valentine's Day.
4 worst gift ideas.
So you only have to write one down, but I want it to be on this list. So let's see what we got. I'm gonna give you a nice time. Maddie thinks she's really thinking now. She's like, I've gotten some bad ones. Which one was the worst?
I
mean, according to who?
Who do I not
Yeah,
want?
I'm like,
According to iHeart's poll.
I'm like, who's their demographic? Who's taking this poll?
yeah. I was kind of thinking the same thing. I'm like,
I'm gonna say, looking at this, it was probably polled the women side of the relationship, but or just frankly the person. I don't even know, because it's not even. I'd hate most of this, so I don't know. I think they just polled in general. Either what would be the worst thing you could get, or what's the dumbest thing you've given. I think are these 4 answers.
Oh,
The first one that always comes to my mind, and it's just the obvious. It's the vacuum. Or
And I say that's number 1.
You know?
someone actually gives someone a vacuum for Valentine's Day?
A vacuum cleaner is
No.
number 1.
I just think Christmas, like if you give your wife, anything like
An appliance?
any holiday, any appliance, like for a holiday of any kind, you're.
I don't know. If I ask for one, though, that's
Well, I would like to say,
I asked for
specifically
Dyson
was
myself for
not
Christmas.
asked
I
for
didn't
one.
get it.
And I did get my wife one because I knew she wanted one more. She was back when her parents, for her birthday one year, got her the newest of the Dyson line of vacuums. And when we first started dating, she told me this story and how excited she was to get a Dyson. So I knew when she was like getting frustrated with not being able to get the nooks and crannies, she wanted a handheld shark-sized vacuum, and that's what I got her. And everybody looked at me weird, and I'm like, I just got the best gift she could have ever wanted.
You know what? You shop for the person, right? If that's what they want, then cool.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
But it's very Danny Tanner for anybody who's old enough to get that reference.
Mm-hmm.
Good show.
So we got Eric. Eric, well done. You got the number 1.
All right.
I was like, no way, it's a vacuum. Like that actually went through my brain, and I was like, I can't even say it. That's not going to be it.
So did I. I was like,
all right. What else other than vacuum? You both have the chance to get on the list.
I was thinking pocket knife, and I that's kind of strange, but I don't know, pocket knife, tools.
Yeah, I was leaning like kitchen utensils, or like I wrote down dead flowers too, because I wouldn't be too
dead flowers
about dead flowers.
Those are the ones with like the leftovers that everyone's picked over at the grocery store. Like, yeah.
I like where your mind is at. Not on the list, but I like where your mind is at.
Okay. Discount. Christmas
Discount
chocolate,
steak.
like the stuff that they got like on Boxing Day.
See,
this goes a little worse than that, unfortunately.
I'm not like, I can't think, because like I wear like silver jewelry, so if my boyfriend got me gold jewelry, like knowing that I wear silver, like I
would even know me.
What if it was white gold?
Actually, this is white gold, but he knew that. Yeah.
See, white gold still matches silver. It's
absolutely.
These two, it's perfect. But yeah, I would be pretty ticked if he got me like gold jewelry. But like that's so like boohoo. Like it's not.
That's okay. We'll go with the number 2, just so you know what page we're playing on. Scandalous / XXX movie as a Valentine's gift.
I mean,
not where
it depends.
Again, depends on the person.
Depends on the relationship. I don't
know. Right. Number 4, and I'm going to leave number 3 alone. See if anybody guesses it for a nice bonus point here. The number 4 is lottery tickets. Which I love lottery tickets.
I'd say number 3 is cash. It's gotta be
I would not be mad at like any of these things.
I know. I was trying to think.
Eric, you got that bonus point, by the way. Cash. Cash is number 3.
Cash is really number. That's crazy.
Yeah. According to iHeartRadio.
Because
guess
to me,
it's
that
like-
that doesn't put any thought into it. That was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it's like go
I didn't
buy
know
yourself
you-
a gift.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, birthdays, feel free. You don't know what I want. It's my birthday. Let me buy it. If we're going on a big holiday or something where you have to put thought in it, like just write me a horrible poem before you give me cash. Like show that you tried.
Some effort, yeah. That's the thing. That's why I don't think like pretty much any of those gifts would upset me unless they were like really like off the mark. Obviously, not something I would want or would ever talk about wanting. But if it was like thoughtful and relevant, cool.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Hold on. I just got to get to the last one.
Also, lottery tickets. I'm like, this person's thinking about your future. This is your retirement plan here.
If you win,
Yeah,
Like-
but you could go
definitely.
spend like 50
Except for they're
bucks
gonna
and not
say I
win
want
it.
half if you win. All right, here we go. What was the last one I have here? Oh, this was one I was actually I was really proud of because it's not the first time somebody's been on this list. In Halifax, according to the Coast, the 3 best places to take somebody on a first date.
The
In
bicycle
Halifax along
thief.
the coast.
And it's not
For a
it's not for
first date?
food. It's more or less the
Oh.
best event for a first date.
Like an activity. I'd say like an escape room would be a cool one.
Would be a cool one.
I don't know if it's on the list, but
Oh, the waterfront walking.
Yeah.
The
was gonna
waterfront
say,
is
yeah.
definitely there. That's number one. The gold star from the
Double
coast
points for
is
you.
the waterfront.
Yes.
It's the
No.
silver that I'm very happy with because it's been a place where I did work, and it's been winning. I'm pretty sure something since it opened, which is very exciting. So
and it's not food.
it's not well. There's food there. There's coffee
Sure.
there. There's a little hint for people. It's got a little bit of both.
Mini adventures.
Rock climbing?
No,
No.
Oh,
Okay, you're learning a little bit about what I like to do.
I do. And by the way, number 3 is it was a number 1 for something else.
Point Pleasant Park.
No, number 1, not number 5.
Peggy's Cove?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, Public Gardens.
Oh.
We're talking Halifax too, right? This is
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that was number 3. So the number 2 is it does coffee. It does a bit of food. It's a great place to take a date because you can do the one thing that you can't do at movies, which is talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yet it's entertaining without being obnoxious. Those are all my clues I'm giving for it. I can give more.
Being obnoxious. Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know
Not just a
anything
place
about
for a
dating in
date either.
Halifax.
That's what I like about it. There used to be one in Bedford as well as there's one in Halifax where it started.
See,
I
I'm
worked in the
thinking of the
Bedford one.
Boardroom Cafe, but I don't think that's what it is.
Oh, is it at?
What is it?
The Boardroom Game Cafe is the silver winner for the places for the best first date.
I went there on a first
That makes
date.
sense.
See? The Boardroom Game Cafe, I love it. I worked there in the Bedford one. I worked the kitchen. I worked front of house. I still go to the Boardroom Game Cafe. Like
I will say there was a one in Toronto back when I was dating, yeah, that was a hot spot for first dates for sure.
It's so funny. I really was like, "There's no way."
yeah, and like that's it.
I can't believe I didn't get that.
It's been a solid winner for years. I feel like they might have got gold one year, or they're just holding a solid silver. But they are, yeah, escape room. Like I would love escape room. There's just so many of them, but there's one Boardroom Game Cafe.
Nice.
And I give a big shout out to the owner who I did go to school with. He definitely tapped something that we need more of. So
Nice.
but,
So there really
yeah,
is
that's
only one in
so if I'm going through all the numbers, I'm gonna say I didn't keep any score whatsoever because this is all about fun and we don't want to say Eric's the winner. So the guests win. It's a tie.
Guests win.
Ashley tie for first place.
Yay.
And,
It's so funny. I'm like, I feel like I don't know very much about dating in Halifax. I'm like,
No, you're the married. You're the out. Like they're already dated, and then they see you, so you don't need to worry about that.
yeah, and Jay and I have been together
Even
for
when I
10
was
years.
dating, I didn't know much about dating in Halifax, so it's fine. I'm like, let's go for a walk. That's all I had.
Yeah,
That was
Honestly,
lots of
let's go
walks.
hiking. Well,
Yeah.
with my wife, our first date, she was sick. It didn't count as a first date. We closed Second Cup at Micmac Mall. Like we just talked. But our first real date was a hike at Crowbar Lake. So we went on a big hike on Crowbar Lake. I didn't tell her at the time, but I had a very sprained ankle from soccer. And I was sure if I didn't go on that date, there wouldn't have been a second one. So I made sure I made that date.
what a trooper.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, except for my ankle was like that big while I was working the kitchen the next day. But it was we did that, and it was only supposed to be a short hike, but the paths are marked really weird, and trying to know where you are, it doesn't have a "you are here" that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So our hike took like 8.5 hours. But I gotta say, I learned everything about her on that walk.
I hope you brought snacks.
We forgot the secondary water, so we were sharing one pack of water for each of us, which was gone very quick. But yeah, I had lunch.
That's good.
Yeah. So it was sprained ankle, forgot water, was really close to going, you know what? I was a Boy Scout. I know how to use moss to filter water.
It's nice.
But yeah, the first date, like victory and foible all in one.
Those are the best ones. Now you've got a
right?
great story and you've got this shared experience.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure if she's like, you met me when I had the plague, and then we went on that. So pretty sure if we've got through that, there's nothing we can't like talk our way through. Hopefully. But yeah.
What about you, Eric?
What's that?
How'd you meet your partner?
Tanya and I, we met in Fredericton.
Mm.
And
that is all.
That is all. Actually,
Need I say more?
We met, we became friends, and then shortly after my fire, we met again. She helped me out after my apartment fire, and we just came in touch as friends, and then just, things came together, and then I decided I was done with Fredericton, moved to Halifax, and she came with me.
And now she's in the other room doing your taxes.
Yeah, exactly.
The rest is history.
And listening to all this nonsense. Shenanigans, I guess. More shenanigans with Jim and Eric, right?
More shenanigans.
Yeah. So I don't know. We're at 57. We've taken almost an hour of these ladies' time, Jim.
Good. So we'll give them the time to talk about their partners, and then they can time to embarrass them, and then they can leave.
Yeah. Go ahead. We can do that.
Maddie.
Okay. I actually met my boyfriend at a local dance bar downtown, which I'm sure you guys know, Boomers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met there. I didn't really give him the time of day. I gave him my number, and I was like, you should like feel good. Like I usually give a fake number to people, but I'm giving you my real number. And he was like, wow, she's insane. And I was like, sorry. Then we started talking, and kind of the rest is history. Then we went back to Boomers like a year later, and we are like, wow, this sucks. I'm glad we don't have to be here anymore.
We don't have to date anymore. Like no looking for a date.
No, I was like, oh my gosh. I'm sweating. The floor is sticky. Like, can we just go? I don't know how that worked out before, but yeah, that night I met him, I lost my ID twice, and it was a rough night for me. So I'm glad it all worked out now. Now it's been like a few years, so it's been great. But
oh my,
Ashley.
Jay and I met on a dating app. We were just both scrolling the dating app one day, and we were messaging back and forth, met up for lunch the same day, and actually we found out that we almost met once before. I auditioned for a show he was directing, and
Ooh.
he couldn't be there that day because he had another work thing he had to do. So the creative director, I think, was recording all of the auditions and would send them on to him. And I remember that was not a great audition. Like it was not good. So I remember on the date I was like, oh no. When I found out that I had auditioned for him, I'm like, please do not go back and look at that audition tape. And apparently my audition was one of the very few that was not actually recorded. So he never actually saw my audition. But he remembers my headshot.
Didn't make it to him.
Remembers the headshot.
And I'm like, you did not cast me.
That is very kind of him to say that to you. And make you think
No,
I didn't
no.
see it.
He would tell me. In fact, he probably would have pulled it out and been like, no. Like 10 years later, it did not exist, but he did see my headshot and he was like, you did look familiar. But yeah, so we almost met 6 months before our first date.
That's funny.
Love it. Well, thank you both for coming on here and doing a bunch of wicked shenanigans with us. And I enjoyed myself. Like,
Yeah.
it's good. It's good talking people who see love every day. The world gets really hectic, news gets really bad, and I feel like this is just kind of a really it's uplifting. Like, and I
We
think
wanted to
sometimes
do
people
something
need that.
different. We didn't want to do our typical, well, we're not typical, as you know, and see.
It's typical as we get.
Ashley knows, yeah. Ashley's known me for a while, so she knows I'm a
And-
little outside of the box thinking and stuff like that. So, but yeah, we didn't want, and that's what Over the Pint is. We don't want to. This is totally unscripted. This is just to have fun. Excuse me, and kind of showcase our community and our community members and what you guys have to offer. So I want to give Ashley, let you just, where can people find you? Happily Hitched, Halifax. Give a shout out for where they can find you, and I think I have your email. I'll show that as well while you're doing that.
Oh, nice, fancy. Yeah, so we're at happilyhitchedhalifax.ca. On socials, it's Happily Hitched HFX on all of the major platforms. And yeah, so we're all inclusive wedding chapel down at Pizza Corner in Halifax.
Awesome.
Perfect.
And
Maddie.
Maddie,
Yes. So
shout out for yourself.
Canadian Love Map on all social platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all of those places. And also everywhere that you get your podcasts. We have shows bi-weekly featuring different love stories from across Canada that you should totally check out. And if you have a love story, email me. Yeah.
If you have a love story you want to be told.
If you've been inspired to share your story, please email me. I'm always looking for people to feature. So let me know.
Amazing.
And like I said, or if you didn't hear earlier, that's how Ashley and Maddie met, was because of us, because we record with.
We were a good love
Starters.
match for the love match.
We were the love match.
Perfect marriage.
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
I think that's the best thing I've done all year.
Again, thank you very much. It was fun. It was a pleasure having you. If you guys want to stay on, I'll hit end live here in a second and we can have a quick chat. Thanks again, everybody. I was kind of watching questions and stuff, but there wasn't a whole lot, so we'll see. We'll see what happens later. All right.
Exactly.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah, right.
Early Valentine's.
Yeah.